It's Canada Day 2025, and we're headed to the Canadian War Museum, which is located in Lebreton Flats in the downtown core of Ottawa. While others celebrated outside, we explored the quiet halls where tanks, letters, and memorials tell stories of sacrifice and resilience. Come join us. Well, since it's Canada Day, we don't need to pay because all public transportation in Ottawa is absolutely free on Canada Day. Which is great because we're only one bus ride and one light rail train ride away from our destination.
Eastbound, Blair. Direction Est, Blair. Next station,
Ottawa's light rail, called the O train, makes it easy to get around. Line 1 runs through the downtown core, and new extensions now connect to the airport. Rides are $4 with a tap or Presto card. Kids under 11 ride free. It's fast, it's affordable, and it's still growing. Arriving at Pimisi Station, we got to the museum in about a 7-minute walk. The Canadian War Museum is Canada's National Museum of Military History, with roots dating back to 1880. The current building opened on May 8, 2005 on Lebreton Flats, marking both its 125th anniversary and the 60th anniversary of VE Day. Entry pricing is based on age bracket. Kids under 17 currently enter for free, and every Thursday from 5 to 7 is also free. You can also buy passes or memberships for multiple museum visits. As you step inside this museum, the tone really shifts. You know, the concrete walls and the angled ceilings and the quiet echoes. It pulls you into something deeper. This isn't just a museum, it's a space where you can feel the weight of history before you even see the first artifact. This museum is set up as a chronological journey from Indigenous warfare through to European imperial conflicts to world wars to Cold War, all the way to modern operations. This part of the museum really invites you to pause. After contact, Indigenous nations were forced to navigate constant conflict, fighting to protect their land, their rights, and their way of life. What kind of stays with me is that even after everything, so many still chose to serve in Canada's military. And that kind of resilience, well, it's powerful, and it deserves to be remembered. And it seems like everywhere you look, there are powerful videos that are showing you stories from that era. The War of 1812 section gives you a glimpse into the defining chapter in early Canada. You'll see weapons, uniforms, personal items from people on all sides of the conflict. You can really feel how this war shaped not just the borders, but the future of whole communities, especially those fighting for more than just land. And you can learn from the docents here, with this one sharing how these medical instruments would have been used during the time of the American Revolution. This second part of the museum covers Canada's first overseas military involvement and the South African War. It was the first time Canadian troops fought under a foreign flag, and it set the stage for what came next. Here we learned about 5 Canadians earning the Victoria Cross in South Africa, including acts at Lebreton. The first Canadian Women's Army nursing sisters also served overseas, marking a first for Canadian women. And did you know that up until the summer of 1915, a husband needed his wife's permission to enlist? Yeah, neither did I. I really appreciated the art artifacts and the prints that they had in this museum. If you're into art, military art specifically, this is a fantastic place for this. Gas warfare was first used on a large scale in 1915 in the Second Battle of Ypres. The Germans released chlorine gas across the battlefield, which was one of the first chemical weapons of modern war. This highly detailed and large painting was a depiction of that first event. When you're looking at these paintings, you're not just seeing the impact or the horror, but it made you feel something in looking at it. Gas wasn't just a new weapon, it changed how war was fought and how it was remembered. And next to this one was another painting of this exact event. Very different, but sharing the same feeling. Other displays like this one are very tactile. You walk through it. In this case, you're walking through the trenches. You hear the sounds and you see the soldiers. if you come here, don't forget to look up. There's often airplane components and pieces hanging from the rafters. You'll also find work by Arthur Lismer, who co-founded the Group of Seven and who witnessed the 1917 Halifax explosion. As a former retired registered nurse, seeing these old medical tools reminds me of how much was done with so little, often in the worst conditions imaginable. Looking at the scale of loss in World War I, it's really hard to grasp. Millions gone, entire communities changed forever. You feel it in everything you see on display. Stepping into World War II, the mood shifts. For me, one of the most striking and unique displays in this museum is Hitler's actual parade car. It's massive, it's imposing, built to be seen, not just driven. Used in Nazi propaganda parades, this vehicle was a symbol of control and intimidation. And seeing it here, stripped of power, serves as a stark reminder of how spectacle was used to manipulate and mobilize hatred against a population of peoples. And as I looked at the various different displays in this section, I'm reminded that history doesn't just belong in museums. It asks us to stay awake. This display was a recreation of a convoy under attack by a U-boat. It was actually very interesting because it was like a concave screen, and it kind of gave you a forced perspective of being in the ship. It was quite interesting. Have a listen.
Radar contact, 340, mile in the corner, sir. Tell the radar operator to hold on to the contact and then steer for it. Can you see anything from the water? Radar operator says the object is small, but getting larger. Stand by for star show.
Stand by for star show.
Radar operator says 3/4 of a mile.
There it is. Make the starboard.
Could be a fishing trawler.
I can see the trawling team. Submarine.
Full ahead.
Pull ahead.
Let's get a better look. Fire star shell number 1. There it is.
Trying to get away, sir. Likely died.
5 degrees starboard. Stand by to ramp.
Fire a stealth lane, sir.
Yes.
Fire a stealth lane.
They're submerging. Stand by down charges. Set pattern A.
Stand by down charges. Set pattern A.
Fire.
Fire 1. Fire 2. Fire 3.
We're going over them. What just happened? The torpedo lieutenant just reported that the last depth charge blew the sub half out of the water.
Sounds like we'll never surface again, sir.
Make sure. U-boats are hard to destroy.
Throughout the museum, you'll find powerful displays from all branches, be it Navy, Army, Air Force, each one telling a different piece of Canada's military history at home and overseas. A fun fact is that this museum's public galleries holds about 2,500 large artifacts of spanning war art, equipment, vehicles, and artillery. And excluding the Lebreton open storage space, which we're going to see in a minute, there are around 52 documented vehicle pieces ranging from armored cars, self-propelled guns, to aircraft scattered throughout all of these exhibits. Moving past the Dieppe portion, we're now moving into the Italian and Normandy part of World War II. And here you get a glimpse of what it's like to be in Sicily in July of 1943. And as you enter the Normandy section, the detailed galleries on D-Day and the Battle of Normandy is where we highlight Canadian bravery on Juno Beach and the liberation drives that followed. From this mezzanine, you get a bit of a sneak peek of what the Lebreton Gallery has to offer in terms of vehicles on display. Near the end of World War II, Canadian soldiers captured a blood-stained Nazi flag off a German officer's body. It's a visceral piece of history that now features as a stark visual in the museum. And we move on into the nuclear age, where the stakes of war change completely. Quotes on the walls, well, they stay with you and they are often recognizable. These are words from world leaders and scientists reminding us that once this kind of power exists, you can't really unknow it. It's less about history and more about what we're choosing in our future. And of course, you have to cover the Cold War, which we learn about surveillance strategy, NORAD, and the assessment of threats. What do we have here? Armageddon. Push button to start. Push button to see the effects of a nuclear blast. Yeah, you know what? I'm good. We're then brought through the stories of the UN and of peacekeeping and Canada's role in it, as well as being able to see a piece of the fallen Berlin Wall. This museum also covers the global shift after 9/11 in the United States and Canada's role in Afghanistan, our longest military mission thus far. Outside of the standard exhibits, we come to the last voices of the Second World War, which is a special exhibit that brings us face to face with final living memories of the war. You hear the voices of veterans and their families, sharing stories that history books just can't quite capture all the time. There's just something different about standing in this space because you're not just hearing the voices, but you're reading the words of those who actually lived through these various wars. It kind of hits you in the chest because these aren't actors or reenactments. They're real people sharing their stories that they've carried for a lifetime. You want to know more? Click on this QR code and listen to the voices yourself. One of my favorite parts of walking through this museum is actually this hallway going towards the gallery where the tanks are. And the cement walls makes you think you're in a bunker. And of course, these art pieces are fantastic. As you head towards Lebreton Gallery, you pass these striking airplane panels. They're pieces of aircraft turned into canvas. Some are painted with nose art, others are unit markings or emblems. They're more than just decorations. They're messages from the people who flew them. You get a glimpse into the human side of war, even on the side of a machine. As you walk into this Lebreton Gallery, it's like walking into an aftermath of history, right? There's tanks and artillery and armored trucks. They're all here up close and unapologetically real. And because it was Canada Day, we got to see model airplanes and tanks and so on being built by individuals who belong to the local association. And remember to always look up because there's always something on the ceiling here. I love how they have these vehicles. Some of them are open so you can actually take a look at them, and it's shockingly cramped in these tank spaces. There's no space to stretch and barely room to breathe. And yet, this was home for a crew under fire. It's a whole world built for survival, not comfort. It's kind of incredible that just minutes from the downtown core, you can step into a space like this. It's one of the most extensive military history collections in the country. Even if you're not a history buff, this place can pull you in. There's lots to see, lots to learn about. Before you head out, don't skip the gift shop because it's packed with books, thoughtful gifts, unique keepsakes that tie back to these exhibits. So whether it's a kid's activity book, a historical print, or just a quiet reminder of something that stuck with you, there's something here for literally everyone. They do have a cafe on site, so if you're looking for a quick break or a lunch, they've got sandwiches, pizzas, salads, nothing fancy, but it is pretty decent food. And on Canada Day, they had poutine, pizza, and burgers. If visiting in the winter, no worries, there's a coat check. And go online to visit more on the museum, and I will have all the links down below as well. What a better way to wrap up Canada Day than to watch the snowbirds flying up ahead. After a great day downtown, we headed home to enjoy the rest of our day. If you like this content, please make sure you like and subscribe because we are always going on new adventures. Thanks again for watching the Travel Review Crew.